Let's make some crochet balls. The size of your ball is going to depend on some amigurumi math here. We're going to start with 6 stitches in our magic circle, and then we're going to be going out using increases. Now, the number of increases we do will bring it out wider. So this, we increased to 30 stitches. This one we increased to 24 stitches, and this one was just 18 stitches. And they have the different sizes. Once you find your size that you're going for, the next part is going to be moving up the ball. So use the same number of stitches you used going up in single crochet rounds. With an increase to 18, so we would get this size, we would do 3 rows to get to 18. Then I would do 3 rows of building of single crochets, and then I would do 3 rows with decreases. Okay. For our 24, I would do 4 rows to get to 24, 4 rows of single crochet, and then 4 rows of decreasing. And our 30 stitches is 5, so I would do 5 rows of increases, 5 rows of single crochets, and then 5 rows of decreases. We'll go ahead and work on a smaller ball. We're going to do we'll just do one like the 18 so we can get through it quicker together. But again, you can go up, just you want to keep the rows even. Now keep in mind that the closure counts as a round because it decreases down to 6, just like round 1 started with 6. Let's go ahead and get started with our magic circle. If you do not know how to do a magic circle, I have my technique on my channel, so check that out. I do it a little bit differently than some of the other creators on here. So I'm going to do 6 single crochets into my magic circle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm working with Big Twist Posh right now, and so it is a little bit easier to close up my magic circle with Big Twist Posh. If I work any other chenille yarn, I probably would do 3 single crochets, pull my tail, and then do a couple more just so it wouldn't break on me. I also have a tip in my magic circle video on using acrylic yarn to help you out when working with plush yarn. All right, that was our first round. So the next round in our circle is increasing in every stitch to get to 12. So here's 1, 2. I'm going to pause to put in my stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can just use a piece of yarn or just do your counting. 1, 2. So an increase is 2 single crochets into 1 hole. Okay, so that was round 1, round 2, and now we're going to get to 18, which would be our round 3. To get to 18, we're working in multiples of 6. We had 12. We need to get up to 18. We're going to be creating 3 stitches out of 2. To do that, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase. 2. Again, that is a single crochet and then an increase. And if we stop right there just to count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've gone from 4 to 6. Okay. I'm going to do it again. Single, increase, and again, single, increase. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed up just a little bit here to get to the end. Okay, we're getting to the end and we're starting to see it widen out. So this is the width that I'm going for, 18 stitches. Now we're going to be building the ball part with 3 rows of single crochet. So I'm going to go into my next row and just do single crochets around. And you're going to start to see your piece start to curve. And what you want to remember is to have your tail inside the cup. You're working in the direction. So I'm right-handed, so I am working toward, it's going to the left. If you were left-handed, you'd be working in the opposite direction. And so you can see it's starting to curl. And so I just like to remind myself to keep my tail in the cup so that I have my right side on the outside and the wrong side on the inside. Okay, so there's my first round of single crochets. It's starting to turn into a little cup. And I want you to pause the video here. You're going to do 2 more rounds of single crochet and I will meet you at that point. Okay, I've gotten to round 6. So that was 1, 2, 3 to get to the increase and then 1, 2, 3 to get to this point. So now what we're looking to do is decrease to get down to the end. So it's again, we're going to just do what we did in reverse. So for this round, it will be a single crochet and then a decrease. And now I do invisible decreases to make sure everything is nice and smooth. I'll show you how to do that in a second here, but we want to decrease. So we're going from 18 to 12. Here we go. Single. Put my stitch marker in. And decrease. So I do an invisible decrease, so that is through the front loops. So front loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, yarn over, 2. Okay, single, and then a decrease. So front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2. Okay, single, and then decrease. Single, then decrease. Okay, I'm going to fast forward and meet you at the end there. At this point, I'm going to add our stuffing. I'm going to pause. I'm going to throw some stuffing in there. So I like to start in little pieces. Also, I like to bring it out to the edges. That way it fills out your ball. Now you want to make sure that you stuff firmly, but not overstuffing where you're going to stretch out your stitches, and you don't want it understuffed, otherwise it won't keep its shape. And this is where you can push out some of those cone areas if it's starting to cone. Okay, I think that's good for now. Let's go to our next round. This is going to be just like round 2 in the beginning we did increase all the way around. This time we're going to decrease all the way around. And again, that's the invisible decrease where it is front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, through 2. Stuffing is attacking here. Front loop, yarn over, through 2, yarn over. Forgot to put my stitch marker in. Okay. So we are now down to 6. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, this closing is going to be our last round. I'm going to go ahead and I've noticed it's a little understuffed here, so I'm going to shove some more stuffing to round it out. A little bit more. A nice round shape. There we go. That's better. What I'm going to do is I am going to be closing up my gap. So in order to do that, I am going to cut a fairly good size of yarn. I'd say about 6 inches. It just depends on how long you want it. We want to make sure that we have enough to weave in and without breaking or unraveling. I'm going to have my loop. I'm going to just pull it straight out. Okay, finishes it off. I'm going to grab a needle. Now, these ones, I think I got them off of Amazon. They're just gigantic. They're great for getting through bigger pieces, but this is a smaller ball. These are simple, small plastic. They come with a ton of the crochet kits. These ones are my personal favorite. They are bent, curved, and they go through smoothly for me. I will often fold my yarn over to push it through, just to wiggle it through there, and then pull. Now let's close off our ball. So to close off a piece, we're going to take our yarn on the needle and we are going to weave it through the front loops of this round. Since I'm up top, I'm going to go down through the first one, then up through the next one. And again, I'm only going through that front loop, up, then down, then up, then down, and ending up. Okay. So now I've weaved through all of those edges and we're simply going to pull it tightly, but not so tight that it snaps, but tight enough that it closes. Okay, and we're left with there. And so we want to secure this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down through, and then I like to go straight through the center and out through the other side. And I've seen some crochet artists, they tie a knot and then they stuff it in. I haven't found the need to do that. I just clip it close to the edge and then stuff it in just a little bit and then shape it, and there's your ball. And this is that beginning piece of creating your own patterns and free-forming things. They can simply just be fun to give to kids or even adults, just throwing it around. Think like an old hacky sack. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like this video and follow along for more crochet tips.